Hey everybody, what's going on? Movie review here. My hair is gone, but we're going to continue to talk about the Rocky movies, and today is the final Rocky movie of, the original saga. I know I said that in the fifth movie review, but whatever. The final Rocky movie, and that's Rocky Balboa. First of all, first thing we need to talk about with Rocky Balboa is no one probably thought this was ever going to happen. I remember seeing it in the theater as a kid or a teenager, whatever, and absolutely loving it. I was already a fan of the franchise. So for me, it was just kind of cool to actually see a Rocky movie in the theaters, since I never got to see one in the theaters before. And yeah, I mean, I loved it back then and I still love it now. I think it's easily one of the best of the Rocky movies. Rocky Balboa does not pick up right after the last one left off. It picks up many years after the last one left off. And we're seeing where Rocky's kind of at. Instantly it hits you right with the feels because Adrian is gone. She's passed away in this film. So it already kind of puts you in kind of a little bit of a down place, and that's kind of where we see Rocky. He's just kind of living life. He's running a restaurant named Adrian's, and he's just going through life, but there's something missing. Going all the way back to that first review that we were talking about, all the way back, going back to my first review of the very first Rocky. I think it's a great tie-in to that one, because in the first Rocky we see Rocky's a very, kind of quiet, humble, guy, but he has this thing, in there. And in this movie we finally get to really explore that, and he talks about, the beast inside, and we've known Rocky's got the beast inside him, but it's never left. So it's very much at the core of the movie. Also, obviously, everyone makes a joke about it. It's a 60-year-old Stallone boxing again, and a lot of people can't get past that, and I think it's a shame that people can't. Personally, I wouldn't be able to get past it if they didn't mention it in the movie, or they just kind of glossed over it. But it's very much another core piece to the film. Is Rocky's age, and the fact that he is 60 years old, and everyone around him, all of the characters around him are saying, what the hell? So it's very much integral to the plot. Paulie's back, giving a great final performance, as, we'll get to Creed. This is his last film as Paulie. He does a great job. We have Rocky's son, Milo, whatever his name is, I can't pronounce. I'm going to put a thing right here. That guy, he's playing Rocky's son. He does a great job. A new, female character. You gotta have your female character. You gotta have the moral support. And it's actually little Marie from the original Rocky movie, the little girl that he helps out. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the actress's name on the screen because I don't know it off the top of my head. And she's great too. And I think everyone in the film is pretty much great. I mean, you got Duke coming back, Duke the trainer, Tony Burton. All the returning characters, fit right in. They just slide right back into it. It's so much more natural than something like Rocky V. When I was talking about Rocky V, something felt a little off with Stallone's performance. In this one, it feels natural. It just like he slipped right back into it, and I think a big reason is he was very passionate about this. Once again, it's a passion project, just like the original was, written and directed by Stallone this time. And you could tell it's a film that he wanted to make, and that he was passionate about, and it really does show in this film. So I mean, other than that, what else can you really say? I like the tone of the film. It feels very much like the original. Obviously, the Bill Conti's doing the score once again, and that's fantastic. Cinematography and all that is on point. They do some interesting kind of editing tricks, in this movie, with a lot of flashbacks to the previous films, and a lot of times it'll have just this blue kind of hue over the screen, and that's kind of a unique stylistic choice. So, from all those aspects, it's also, very passable and good. And the final thing we need to talk about, of course, like with all Rocky movies, is the fight and how good is it. It's a great fight. I don't think it's as entertaining as the other ones, but it's definitely the most realistic Rocky fight, and that's because Stallone and Mason Dixon, I'm going to call them that, were actually doing their own stunts. So they were actually punching each other. The fight feels very real. It's shot, you know, like it's a pay-per-view match and everything like that. So it feels very, very raw and very real, and it's still an exciting fight, but it's not as entertaining as Rocky vs. Clubber Lang or Rocky vs. Ivan Drago. Those fights are untouchable, let's be honest. So, still a very enjoyable fight, and if you can get past the fact that, I mean, he is 60, which doesn't bother me, and it just doesn't. It's still a great, fun fight, and it's awesome. It's Rocky. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gonna do it for this movie review. I don't have too much to say about this. I mean, after talking about 6 Rocky movies, you start to run out of things to say because I love them all so much. So that brings us to the end of the Rocky-thon. We're done. I've never talked about Rocky so much in my life. I got all these videos to edit. It's gonna be crazy. So yeah. I'll catch you next time. We're reviewing Creed, and then when Creed 2 comes out, we'll review that, because if I went through all this shit and I don't review Creed 2, I'm doing something wrong. So, that's going to do it for the end of this video, guys. I'll see you next time. My hair is gone. Oh, God.